Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here and welcome to this week's episode of The Knife Guy. So what are we talking about today? So I just grabbed a few examples, but all of the knives out on the table are made by people or companies who I very much trust. I've never been given any reason not to trust these people, and that's something that's really important to me when I'm buying something, especially something that is expensive. I want to feel like, I can trust the people I'm buying from. I want to feel like I understand the product that I'm paying money for, right? Most of the time, I feel like I do a pretty good job of that. I try to tell people as often as I possibly can. I can still do a better job of it, but I try to remind people as often as possible because this channel... This channel keeps, there's lots and lots of new people here. I want to make sure that people understand who I am and what type of information they can get here. I am not a knife maker, I don't have a background in manufacturing or metallurgy, none of that. I'm a regular guy. I am no different than the vast majority of people who watch my content. I have handled a lot of stuff. I've handled a lot of knives in various price ranges from various companies, right? I have physically experienced many final products. So that, is the more unique element of this channel. But I don't do a lot of extensive testing. In fact, the testing that's involved before I do a review is pretty basic. It's just me carrying around a knife and using it like I normally would, right? And for some people, that's not enough information to go off, right? Fortunately, YouTube has no short supply of people who do an amazing job in this territory. There are some really awesome people out there who have extensive knowledge in, various corners of this knife world and can provide this information. But I always try to remind people like, hey, listen, I'm a knife collector and I review, designs and talk about, the general utilitarian features of a knife based on my perspective and my experience handling a lot of other final products. So, that's the information. That's what creates the trust between me and my audience. I can't do everything, but there are some things I, feel pretty good about. So here's what I know. I always try to remind myself that there are things that I don't know, right? Obviously. There's always things. I would be silly to sit here and be like, yeah, I know everything. I don't need to. No, of course. I expect to learn new things. That's what keeps me interested, right? What's the next new thing? What's the next big crazy thing that's going to come out, right? It's either a new company or it's somebody who's been around for a bit, but they do something different, right? Ooh, cool, right? It's fun to expect a new bar for something. A new way to compare, right? It's like I've always talked about how the Ritter Hogue for the longest time has felt like the point of diminishing returns when it comes to a USA production folding knife, right? But at some point that bar will be raised by somebody else. And I just expect like it'll be fun to go through that, that learning process and share this information with people. Sometimes I forget to remind myself, hey, because you don't know literally anything about knife manufacturing, knife making, right? Sometimes there are indications of things that you will completely miss, right? And that happened here. It seems like this last week. I don't like feeling like, I'm being given the wrong information, especially finding out afterwards, right? Something that, some people could say is a benefit. Some people would say it's a curse. I am overly willing to trust, especially when it's something that I really like, right? When it comes to USA manufacturing, man, I root for that. I want to see USA manufacturing, USA knife making succeed, right? It can come in many different forms. But I'm very willing to trust, right? I know that there are companies who manufacture things here, and when people want to, they want transparency in that. There are legitimate USA companies who provide it, and that is always really, really awesome to see, right? And it's also important. It's not just important with USA manufacturing, right? I mean, I really love stuff that's made in the USA. It always is really great. But I want to see that type of transparency from everybody, right? When it comes to knives that are made in China, Italy, Poland, South Africa, right? Japan, Taiwan. The nice thing is that it's like, yeah, we can see you're telling us that it's made in here, and it's believable, right? It's a lot harder when it comes to USA stuff, and this is a lesson that I have learned here, because there are a lot of elements that go into creating a knife, taking the materials, right? Having the right machine to create the right shape and form when it comes to scales and blades, right? There is so much of that I just have absolutely no idea about. Stuff that I did not know, could create deception if it's not displayed correctly, right? Just don't know. There's so much that I don't know. It makes me real timid, to dive into this stuff. And moving forward, I am going to be more timid about what it is that I am looking at, whose knives I'm showing on this channel. Definitely, I've kind of felt like I need to pump the brakes just a little bit here. I really want people to get the right information on my channel, right? It's easy for me to say, who I am and what I do. It's very easy, right? I have no problem. From the get-go, I've never felt like I needed to display myself as somebody who knew more than they did. Nope. It's always better to be honest up front. It's always better, right? That's why I tell you guys, I'm just a regular guy. I want people to know that, right? It's so important to me that people understand who they're getting this information, and that way, it's just like I said, if people don't want to watch my content, right, then they don't have to. It's important that they get the right message initially, right? They know what they're going to invest in. My videos are very long, 20, 30 minutes sometimes, because I get to talking and talking and talking. I get excited about this stuff, right? But I don't want somebody to sit here, expecting to get something that they're not going to get. So I try to remind people of who I am. Anyways, yeah. I really enjoy looking at stuff that I feel comfortable looking at and talking about. Stuff that I feel like I understand based on the transparency that is provided by the company initially, right? I definitely don't like feeling like I'm being misled, right? And it's hard to put my finger on something definitive. That's the biggest problem, is it's really hard to say with absolute certainty, this is absolutely authentic, or this is absolutely not authentic, right? My radar for that, I felt like, was really strong. Felt like, got real confident. Yeah, I can determine this or that. Not always the case, right? There's always stuff that you don't know. There's always stuff that can make you think one way, and it's just it sucks, Yeah, moving forward, there's going to be a more potent filter. Hey everybody, MC from the future here. I'm rewatching this video and going over what I said, and I want to make sure that it is absolutely clear that I'm saying when I give the wrong information, it is my fault on this channel. If I say something that is incorrect, or if I label something that is incorrect, it is my fault. Right? I have a responsibility to give the right information. So I don't want to pass this off as like, people make mistakes and no. Here, if I say or do something that is incorrect, then that's my fault. So just want to make sure that that's absolutely clear. I have to. I mean, this whole experience is, and this is not just one experience. It's many things. Just this last year alone, guys, so many things that have made us think twice about certain people, certain companies, and just, it stings, right? I didn't that really sucks to find out that we didn't have all the information, right? Because we've already spent the money. We've already invested, emotional and physical energy into this. So it sucks because it's like you can't, you can get back some of it, but you can't get back all of it. No. I'm just gonna have to be really, really careful about the stuff that I talk about, and make sure that people know, there needs to be a way for me to say, this is the information that I have. In fact, that's what it's going to be. It's what it has to be. This is the information that is provided to me. But if I don't have a way to authenticate it 100%, then yeah, I got to say that. So I really hope that this sends shockwaves. Everything that has happened this year and in the last few years with companies and knife makers, right? I really hope that these shockwaves, hit everybody, and we continue to hold people accountable. I don't like witch hunts, right? I don't like feeling like pitchforks and torches. I've always said that. I'm not really into that. And I like to steer away from drama as much as possible. Sometimes it is unavoidable though, right? Sometimes it just sometimes it just feels like you're getting hit by an arrow that was shot from a long ways away in the dead of night, just totally silent, just totally unexpected. But anyways, I hope that the message is fairly clear here, right? I don't want to zero in on any one particular event. There's always more to complain about, right? Want to try and see the light, see the I don't want to get real, mushy or anything like that, but I want to view this as a learning experience and, see the glass half full in it. And just try to be more aware of the things that I am talking about and looking at, and be more skeptical, right? I don't want to turn into somebody who just is just everything is deception and nothing is authentic anymore. I don't want to do that. That just sounds like a bitter, horrible, miserable existence, right? But I do want to be more selective. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know that I know that this is a short, weird episode of The Knife Guy, and some people might not understand exactly what it is that I'm talking about, but it's, again, it's I don't want to take an absolutely definitive stance because I am in a position right now where I just don't 100% know with some companies. Is it really made here? Is it really, right, when you say if it's manufactured in the USA, is it really manufactured in the USA? Is it really manufactured in Taiwan, right? How much is being outsourced? Who's doing what? What are the indications, right? Sometimes I can feel it, right? Sometimes I'm like, this feels a little bit too good to be true, but I'd really like to believe that it was made here. So that's what I'm going to go with, right? You go with your gut. And sometimes your gut's wrong. So, yeah, I can definitely be wrong. You guys have seen that. Here's another, this is unrelated. With the Riot Gents number 9, that'll probably get a re-review. I was talking with people in the comments who were like, dude, you missed the, you said that it was like pin construction and that it wasn't meant to be disassembled, and that's just flat out untrue. And I looked into it and I was like, wow, that is actually the case, right? I was just, I looked at it and I was like, nah, my keen senses and understanding of knives and their construction are enough for me to conclude that this is, and I was wrong. I was just flat out wrong. That really sucks because it makes me feel like an idiot. I can be wrong for sure. So it doesn't feel good, but it's, instead of shying away from it, because initially the comments are still there. If you go to that Riot Gents number 9 video, you can actually go down in the comments and find this exact conversation. There was some guy who was like, you lost some credibility here on this one. And my initial response was, I've made 3,000 uploads, man. Like, people are going to make mistakes, which was a stupid excuse, right? At the time, it felt like, oh, yeah, well, that's why. And then there was another guy who was like, no, that's bullcrap. You were just flat out wrong about this, you know? And he went into and I told him, I was like, you know what? You're right. I was just wrong. I was just really wrong about this. And it was a check yourself moment. So... this wasn't about the React Gen Summer 9. I was giving you an example of, like, you know, sometimes I make mistakes. But, you know, when mistakes, I'm not saying mistakes should never happen. When they happen, right? Try not to, that wasn't a situation where I was lying about something. I just wasn't informed about it. And, you know, I realized the right thing to do now that I've been informed is to try to correct it. To, you know, say, yeah, I was incorrect about that. And I'll try not to, you know, make that mistake in the future. If you initially set out to deceive, right, well, that's a little bit of a different thing. I'm not saying that that's the case with anybody. I'm saying in an example where somebody sets out to deceive and then gets caught, it's not like, oh, you got me, I'll try to do better, right? I believe in forgiveness, right? Definitely, but it's not, you know, that's less of a simple situation. So I'm not calling anybody out in particular, right? All I can do is talk about me and this channel, right? And the type of information that you get here moving forward. I will try to be more careful. If I am wrong about something, if I am mistaken about something, I will admit it. Definitely. I will own up to it. I will not try to hide it or pretend that I am, you know, some sort of omnipotent professional that cannot be questioned on YouTube. No, if I screw something up, I'll definitely... I have to be sure that I screwed it up, but if I screw something up, I'll let you guys know. So, thank you to everybody who has supported my channel. Thank you to everybody who comes and watches my content and enjoys it, right? I will definitely make sure in the future, just because of this situation that is unrelated to what I'm talking about right now, but watching this situation unfold, I realized I should definitely, you know, even more often than I do, remind people of what type of information they get here. So, yeah. That's going to be pretty much it. I appreciate it. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on the Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.